Hello and welcome to Little Free Library headquarters in Hudson, Wisconsin. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Zach.
And we're here to show you how to assemble a Little Free Library kit. All the pieces are included here, and we're going to walk you through that, how they fit together, and hopefully take the stress out of it and show you how much fun it can be. One note about setup, you want to have a nice long table that's long enough so that 2 to 4 people can work comfortably around it, and you want to put a covering down, a tablecloth, or in this case, some heavy butcher paper to prevent your table from getting scratched or glue drips on it.
One of the first things you'll find is the steward packet, which has a bunch of information on how to be a steward and answers a lot of your questions you might have. You'll also find the kit assembly instructions, which you can follow along with if you'd like. Otherwise, you can just watch our video. And then the first piece you'll find is the front panel here. After that, you have 2 side panels. How you can figure out which side is which is this molding goes on the inside of the library, and then it will slant from the front to the back downward. The next piece is the base piece. One note on the base piece and some of the other pieces as well, you just want to check and make sure that you pick the right side. Sometimes, like this one has some knots on one side. I would recommend putting that on the bottom of the library so that the books have a nicer surface to rest on. And how you put this one in the easiest is to come in almost vertically with it, put it to one side, and then let it slide down to the other side. The next piece we have is the back piece. You can tell which piece is the back piece because it's slightly larger than the base, and it also has 6 pre-drilled holes. And that'll go in like, okay. Then we have the roof, which also has a piece of molding to help you, partly to help you tell where to put it. This goes towards the back of the library. Like so. There are 2 pieces of trim for the 2 back corners. They also will slant from the front to the back downward, so you can tell which pieces go where. And then we have 2 smaller pieces of trim which go on the bottom of the 2 sides, and then 1 longer piece of trim for the very back. And the last thing you'll find in your kit is a plastic bag full of screws and nails. It also has a handle for the door, a sign identifying your library as a Little Free Library Original, and 2 silver screws. These items you can set aside till the very end. Those are the last things that go on the library. Then we have 2 different kinds of screws and nails to secure the trim to the library.
One note about the screws. Just remember that there's 6 of the longer ones, and they're going to be used on the front. And any other time it calls for screws, it's going to be the shorter ones on the sides and the back.
How long do you think it takes, Brandon?
It should take about an hour to an hour and a half. So we've gone over everything that comes with the kit, and now we're going to go through the few things that you need to provide to actually put it together. You're going to need something for the screws, either a power tool or a hand tool, and we're going to use a power tool with square head bits because we feel that that works a little better than the Phillips head for putting in the screws. If you don't have square head bits, and some people won't, a Phillips head screwdriver will work fine. You need the hammer to use for the trim nails. You need some wood glue to help things adhere together. You don't have to use a lot of it. People sometimes want to use too much. That's why we have the bucket of water and paper towels.
And with the tools in the kit, we're ready to start building.
Let's do it.
All right, to get started, we're going to use the front panel with the door. You're going to want to make sure that the latch is closed on here so the door doesn't swing open as we're building the library. This will just get set vertically. And the next pieces we're going to attach are the side pieces. And this is where we're going to start using glue. You're going to use just a thin amount of glue along the longest edge of the side, And it's easiest to add the glue to the pieces that are being attached to the library.
So you don't have to use too much, really.
No, that's even probably more than you even need. And so you want to try to make it fit snugly. If it doesn't fit right away, you can kind of jimmy it. It's not too big of a deal. You have about half an hour or so before the glue dries.
That's good.
And again on the other side. And just remember with the side pieces, you want the molding inside of the library. So we got it snugly here. The base, there's no right front or back to it. You can just sort of choose a side, but you're going to want to put glue on 3 of the sides, the 3 sides that are going to touch the sides of the library and the front of the library. And this is even a part where one person could hold the wood and another person could put the glue on. I've done this a couple times, so I can do it with one person. But now we're going to put it in on one side and then just slide it down. And you'll get some glue on the edges like there. But then you just need to use the paper towel with some water to wipe it off. And once you have it here, we are going to add screws to the front to attach it together. So you don't actually need clamps either on this.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. So now that we have the front, sides, and base all in place and glued, we're ready to attach them and secure them with screws. We're going to be using the 6 larger screws, the longer screws. And there are 6 holes pre-drilled in the front. This is a good part to have a helper, second set of hands to hold the library in place. You're going to apply firm pressure here as the second person holds the panel in place. And there it kind of came apart, and that's okay, you just keep screwing it and it will bring it back together. And there you go. So now that we have the front screwed to the sides, we're going to screw the sides to the base using these holes. To do that, we're going to need to switch out the bit to the smaller of the 2 square head bits. And we're going to be using the smaller screws, which should be the only screws you have left. Now this is also easier if the library is pulled right up flush with the edge of the table, so that you can get the screwdriver in there. And then we'll do the other side. So now that the library is all screwed together on the sides, front, and base, it should be pretty stable. We're going to attach the back panel. To do so, we're going to put glue on the side and base edges. And again, you don't need very much glue at all. And the back panel has 6 pre-drilled holes again. You're going to want to check which side is the most attractive and have that facing out. And the pre-drilled holes will go 2 on each side and 2 on the base. And I'm going to drill the sides in first.
How deep should the screws go?
You want to get them so they're pretty much flush with the wood. If you have a screw that doesn't go in quite right, you can just go ahead and take it out and just level it up and put it where it needs to go. And then for these bottom two, again, you're going to want it flush against the edge. And there we go.
Okay, now we're going to add the decorative corner trim pieces, and they're going to go on the corner like this, and it's going to slant from the front to the back. And again, we're going to add some wood glue to the interior edges of the trim. Not a ton, along both sides. On here like that. And then you're going to use your small trim nails. And you're going to want to try to line this up so the nail goes into the back panel. Will you have nails that bend as you're pounding them? Absolutely. So if that happens, just pull them out and start again. So here's the second one. And you'll feel if it's in place. That one's fine.
So now we're ready to attach the roof. In order to do that, we're actually going to flip the library over onto the roof upside down. We're going to have the back edge line up behind this piece of molding here. So we're going to flip it completely over. We're working with the library upside down so that we have better leverage to get the screws into the roof, which will be attaching from the inside of the library. So once you have the library flipped over onto the roof, when you look inside, you'll see 8 holes. These 2 in back actually have screws in them already, so you don't need to do anything with those. The 6 holes we were going to use are on the sides here. There's 1, 2, and then the third one way in the front here, and the same thing on the other side.
Like so, reach in with your number 1 bit. Nothing to it.
In order to attach the handle, you're going to need to remove the screw. There is a pre-drilled hole for the handle. The screw won't fit into it completely. You'll just need to set it there and then drill it through slightly. You're going to drill it through until you see the tip of it poke out. And then you'll want to line up the hole on the bottom of the handle. And there the handle's attached. And the last piece is the medallion. There's no pre-drilled holes, so you're going to just eyeball it. There's no wrong way to do this.
We encourage everybody to decorate and personalize their library however they see fit. You can go to our website for ideas. And also would like everybody to register their official charter sign on our world map. Thanks again and enjoy your new library.